Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you're all doing very, very well. Big up to all of you. Welcome back to another evening show. I'm going to be speaking about everything regarding Chelsea Football Club at the moment. Big up to all of you. I hope you are still smiling after our victory in the Club World Cup. You should be smiling for the next 4 years. Honestly, the next 4 years, the way we're going right now, I think if you're not smiling, it's a little bit concerning almost, because what more do we have to do to make people happy? I'm a shining example of a fan that was unhappy, and I've been shut up. Get that zip. Whew. No way. No way. And it's good to be proven wrong at times. It's good to be proven wrong. I said to Lewis, I think I'm going to have to say that a fair few times. But I'm okay with saying that. I'm okay with it. And listen, the most important thing is that we obviously perform as a football club. And that's what we're doing. So how can you criticize success? How can you criticize Chelsea showing that we can progress on the pitch and in a lot of ways off the pitch, although, you could still make a number of arguments on one side. And we are the world champions. We are the champions of the world. We are, I wouldn't say the best team in the world, but, you can joke about it. And we've got a lot of positive things to speak about. And this is the most optimistic I've felt about Chelsea since Clear Lake Capital and Todd Bowley have been running this club. This is the most optimistic I've felt as a match-going fan since we had Tuchel. This is the most optimistic I've felt in terms of the results that we can get since Tuchel. And, we are big time. We are big time again. We are back in the Champions League. We are European champions. We are world champions. We are hot property. And you're absolutely right. We need a front of shirt sponsor, and we're not going to struggle to get a good paycheck now. Makes you think, fair enough that we waited, because now things are going to work out very well. You'll easily get a £60 million deal there. Easy. He's linked with Jackson, Jarrah Hatter as well, Barry Shilstein. We'll get into it, mate. Big up to Alesso. And big up to you as well, Father, as always. Good to see you, mate. Good to see Amir on here as well. Lil Tunecci. Hey, I'm not going to lie, man. You were pretty pessimistic about the final. I'm not going to lie to you, mate. So I think you probably feel about a bit like me in some ways, although I wasn't that pessimistic going into the final. I was like, we can do it. But success is success, guys. We have achieved what we needed to achieve. And that's above the bare minimum. Let's not sit here and act like we expected it. Some people said we could do it. All right. But we could do a lot of things in life. Doesn't mean you expect it. So I was surprised that we did it. But pleasantly so. Absolutely. I agree with you, Daniel, there. Pride of London. Yes, absolutely. Winning one final doesn't erase the cracks. It exposes easily. Some fans settle. Success should be a launch pad, not a finish line. Well, I mean, you can't say that we haven't had a number of successes so far. That we've achieved top four. We won the Conference League. We won the Club World Cup. So I could list 3 things that we've been successful at. 3 goals that we've achieved out of 5. 3 out of 5. Didn't win the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. Those are 2 competitions we didn't perform. But in the 3 other competitions, which I would argue all of them are more important, then I would say that we did most of what we needed to do, mate. So I give credit to the team. I give credit to the boys. I give credit to the manager. I give credit to the recruitment. And it would be disingenuous if I didn't give credit to the owners. But that doesn't change my overall feeling about the ownership, especially on Clear Lake's side. But I do believe that Bowley has certainly... I do believe that Bowley had a lot of doubters that he didn't necessarily deserve as much as Clearlake. Not to say I agree with everything he does. I don't agree with Vivid Seats. I don't agree with some of the price increases that we've had. And yeah, I mean, those are two pretty obvious things. But we've seen he's had success in other sports. So I don't think it's a surprise that he's able to bring that to football. But at the same time, the way we've done it is very unorthodox, but it's worked. But Clearlake are running the club as well. And you can't criticize success. You have to say, well done for getting done what we needed to do. Right. Enough of that. Let's get into it, shall we? Let's get into it. Smash that like button. I'm going to go through all of the latest Chelsea news. We're going to be speaking about the huge bonuses that every player is going to be receiving after winning the Club World Cup. We're going to be speaking about some of the rumors and bits of news as well, because there is plenty of it. We got almost 100 of you in here as it stands. Let's get up to 50 likes. We're currently on 20 as it stands. So let's see if we can get 30 more. As soon as we hit that number, I'm going to dive into it. Okay, smash that like button. Big up to Rain. I hope you're doing well. Good to see MD LSA as well. Hola to you, my friend. Good to see you, mate. Esteval is an upgrade, but I don't know how much G he'll produce in his first season. I think that's very much dependent on how much he plays. But at the same time, what we need to try and remember is he's a young player in a new country, in a new culture, moving away from his family, presumably. But I can imagine a lot of his family will probably move over with him to come to England in a new league. So everything is going to be different. And I think we need to try and look at it, not just from the football side, because we know he's capable from the footballing side. We need to try and look at it from a more humane perspective as well, which is that we have a young kid joining us, a very mature young kid, a very capable young kid, but still a kid. And, you know, I don't want to put too much pressure on Esteval, if I'm honest. I want to see Neto step up. I want to see Gittins perform, although Gittins is still very young. But Gittins knows what it's like to be in England. He's English, so it's different. He doesn't have to adapt in that sense. So, yeah, I think Esteval can produce, but I think his game time will be limited. But you will still see him, especially in the cup competitions, maybe even some Champions League games as well, because there are some teams in the Champions League that I expect Chelsea to beat easily. We're going to have to rotate. We'll see. We'll see what happens. You didn't believe because the way things are running, but always wanted the best for us. This has always been the benchmark. Celebrate now, but still work to be done. This is our level. Big up to you, man. I'm glad you see the light, a bit like me. And I have no problem being wrong, guys. I am going to repeat myself because, to be honest, everybody repeats themselves in the comments. I'm not talking about anyone in these comments. I'm just saying when I read through, and I don't always read them, but I usually do. And, people go, are you still Poch Alex? Blah, blah, blah. I'll take it. I will take it, and I will take it with a smile on my face. And I say respect to everyone that trusted Maresca and had the patience. Because I didn't. I didn't have the patience. And I think a lot of what has been said over the course of the season, there's a lot of justification for that. But there's some things maybe a little bit out of order as well. And I can own up to that. I don't have an issue. I don't have an issue with that. And I can apologize. I can absolutely sit here and apologize and say that this man deserves our support after bringing Chelsea through and breaking us into a new level within his first season. My issue, a big issue that I had, was the playing style. But if you are successful, then how the hell can you criticize that when you're winning trophies? Last season, we lost and drew a lot of games due to a lack of goals where Jackson didn't perform. Now we're hopefully correcting that issue. I totally agree with you, mate. And it's like anything. Better players, you're going to play better football, and the system is going to look better as well because you'll have people that are capable of executing what the manager's asking for. If you've got a player who doesn't like running and the manager's asking him to make certain runs, that's not going to work very well. If you've got a player who, you know, isn't very good at holding the ball and you're going long, then again, you know, you need different profiles. We have that. We have Delap. We have João Pedro. We have options on the wing with Gittins. I would say Esteval is probably an upgrade on Madueke, although I would also argue we should limit his minutes. Again, not a footballing decision. That's more of a personal thing that I just think as a young player, you shouldn't put too much pressure on him. I think our midfield depth is right up there with the best as it stands. I mean, we saw that the way we, you know, outperformed PSG's midfield. And defensively, you know, we look solid as well, but we do need more depth. And the goalkeeping situation, I still stand by everything. Sanchez is not good enough, but you know, he had a great tournament and a fantastic finish. So, you know, we've got to give credit there, but that is something that you need to replicate over 38 games instead of just 8. And that's my stance. So if Sanchez can find that consistency, fair play to him. But I think that we still have a long way to go to find that consistency. So yeah. Right. Have we got to 50 yet? We are on 39. I need 11 more likes, guys, and then I'm going to get cracking. Okay. We've got over 120 of you in here, so I think we can get 10 likes. And then I'll get started. What sponsorship would I like for Chelsea next season? Fly Emirates looks pretty good. I like the Damac one as well. They look trendy. So they're nice ones. Respect to Maresca. Respect to you, how do I say that? Tunecci. Big up to you, my friend. Big up to Anton as well. Any news on the OVO Chelsea link up? Please give me I'm not really sure what OVO you want about. Is that a sponsor or am I missing something there? Big up to Jenksy as well. Blue Coast still watch Bresca bought time. Hey, listen, man. I think he's bought more than a bit of time. I think he's earned respect. And I think that you should, you know, I think we should definitely give Maresca some respect. I certainly will. Yeah, I think that there's not really much else he could have done. And for that, he deserves a lot of praise, a lot of credit, and, you know, yeah, big up to him. Right, let's talk about Mike Penders here. Mike Penders, this is a good one, guys. Okay, Mike Penders. Deal done and set to be sealed as Chelsea goalkeeper will join Strasbourg on loan. Agreement in place for next season while Chelsea see Penders as a top talent for the future. Now, for those of you who don't know, Mike Penders has been playing in the Belgium league, and you know he's still been a Chelsea player, but it's a bit like Quenda and Esteval, as you know, in the sense that we signed him and we basically allowed him to continue to develop where he was already playing, because he was never going to be Chelsea's #1 goalkeeper straight away, which is totally fine, totally understandable, and the best thing for his development as well. And now we need to see that step up from the Belgium league to a higher quality league in the French, where he's going to be working under Liam Rosnier, a really good manager who was an instrumental figure in terms of developing Petrovic. And what we saw from Petrovic under Liam Rosnier was a keeper who went from becoming a solid keeper, because I always thought he was solid, to be honest with you, to a great keeper. And I stand by that. I think Petrovic is one of the best deals that we will see this summer. I think Bournemouth have got an absolute steal. And 25 million for a player who's 25 is unbelievable business for Bournemouth. So, you know, they've actually upgraded. They've gone from Kepa to Petrovic. I think that's a significant upgrade and a really, really good age for a goalkeeper as well. You've got at least 10 years there. And, you know, if they wanted to, that they'll certainly be able to sell him on for more than they paid. So what does this leave Chelsea? This leaves Chelsea, obviously, with the two keepers as it stands. We've got Sanchez and Jorgensen. And I don't think anything's going to change on that side. Maybe we end up bringing in another older goalkeeper, because I'll be honest with you, I always think it's good to have a character like Bettinelli in the squad. He ended up leaving Chelsea for Man City because he thought it was a more ambitious project. He wanted to work with Pep Guardiola, one of the best teams. But hey, listen, you left Chelsea and you went to Man City, and you ended up getting knocked out by Al Hilal, who then lost to Fluminense, who then lost to us. So I think right now Chelsea can say 1-0 against Bettinelli. It might have been a better decision to stay at Chelsea and win the Club World Cup. Not that he was going to play a part on the pitch, but I do believe that a lot of those players can certainly impact the dressing room. And, you know, Willie East is another guy who's been heavily criticised. Not that anyone really should be criticising him, because we don't see what he does on a day-to-day. But when you're hearing you've got a rugby coach that's taking over the club, you know, or taking a position at a club, he was actively playing. You know, he actually retired from rugby to join Chelsea, and you know, he I'm sure has had an impact as well. And I saw the video of the hacker. People take the mickey out of the hacker, but does that not show you that there is a unity? Does that not show you that there is a togetherness and the players are enjoying themselves? And it's just good vibes. I mean, there's nothing. There's a difference between smiling after you lose a big game and lose a cup final, and just generally being happy around the club facilities. And if you're a player and you feel comfortable, you're having a good time, I think that you're going to perform better. So I'm absolutely happy with that kind of environment. I really don't have a problem with it. And I don't think that younger players, and when I say younger players, I mean players in their early 20s, that generation coming up, even some of them in the late 20s, I just don't think it's the same as it was however many years ago, where everything was so serious and it was all about winning, or basically people had punch-ups in the dressing room. I think nowadays you just need a team that can work together, gel, and if they're good enough, they will perform. And that sort of rough aspect of football, even if you're not good enough, being able to grind down opponents and get away with different fouls. Nowadays, it is just about talent, tactics, and implementing a system that works and having the players that can do it. Chelsea rejects. Wait, who are we talking about here? Oh, Bettinelli. Issa does the hacker. Yes, respect the hacker. OnlyFans as a shirt sponsor. Let me know in the comments if you like that one. Don't worry, Michael. I haven't actually got into the bonuses yet. We will speak about that shortly. Why the hell would I know about Chelsea's collab with Drake? I'll be honest with you guys. It's really not something that I keep up to date with. But I'll have a look. Let's have a look. Fair enough. That's a bit of a random. That's very random. But yeah, let's take a look as well. But yeah, big up to Mike Penders. I think it will be a good move for him. Just getting some experience out in France, and I think that he'll probably thrive. This is a player that I would hope, if Chelsea aren't going to sign a top goalkeeper, I think there's two options here. They're either looking to develop Mike Penders to the extent that hopefully he could start for Chelsea next season or the season after, or we're looking to develop him enough that we end up doing the same thing we did with Petrovic, which is a very plausible option. And then we sign Magnan on a free because his contract at AC Milan would have expired anyway. So those are your options. And both of them don't cost Chelsea a penny, but one of them will make profit. And I believe that if Chelsea have the option to sign Magnan for free, and then they want to get Mike Penders and sell him on, I think they'll probably end up doing that, to be honest with you. Because if there is one thing we're seeing this project, which from a business perspective, financially is great, is the fact that if there's not a key player in the project, then they are just an asset that will be flipped. And we saw that with Madueke, we saw that with Petrovic, and we're going to see that happen with a number of other players. And if you're able to churn out 2, 3, 4, 5 players a season, and people talk about us hogging, is that the word, hogging? Hoarding, that's the right word. Hoarding lots of players who aren't necessarily playing in our squad, and Why would they join Chelsea? That's what Jamie Carragher said. But if you're then going to sell probably about 75% of those players anyway, maybe 80, 90%, then it's fine. And the players are okay with it a lot of the time, because they end up, if they're young, probably getting a pay rise from what they're on anyway. And they have a guarantee about how much money they're going to make for 7 or 8 years. They're on a nice, long, juicy contract. And that's why I think a lot of young players are attracted to it. But then it does make our business model, tick along as well. And we have to find a way to make extra money, because we've got 20,000 less seats than a lot of the other top teams in the league. So if that's going to be the way that we do it, then fair enough. Honestly, fair enough. And I hope that solution in terms of being able to sell players for such a profit will encourage the club to freeze ticket prices as well, because we've had another price increase this season, about 8%, so 16% over 2 years. And, fans will suck it up, but I think that if we can make money in other ways and take the burden off of working class people, then that would be quite something. Right, let's see what else we've got, guys. What else have we got? Oh my God, really? I can't believe it. Oh, fucking hell! Have I got to subscribe to all these things? I really do. I have to actually subscribe. £30 a month to subscribe to the Times. £1 a month for your first 3 months, and then 30 a month thereafter. Oh my God. This is only smartphone access, so I can't watch it on a computer. I can't look at it on a computer. This is the problem with some of these bloody articles. That you've got to subscribe to everything, man. It's annoying. But there you go. Can't have it all in life, can you? Can't have it all. Well, anyway, let's look at the general gist of it. We can still go through it. So Nicholas Jackson has apparently attracted interest from Manchester United as he weighs up his future. This is according to the Times. And this is a deal that, to be honest with you, I don't really understand. I don't really get it. I don't think that Nicholas Jackson is... I don't get it. To be totally honest with you, I don't really get it. I understand why they want, and when I understand why they wanted Liam Delap. I thought he would have been a good profile for them. I think Victor Gyökeres could have been a good profile. Victor Osimhen, they're all profiles that I can understand. But Nicholas Jackson, what does this guy offer that fits into what Amorim's trying to do? And I guess the justification for bringing him in would be, is he better than Højlund? Yes. Is he better than Xerxes? Yes. Basically, if Nicholas Jackson signed for Man United, I think he probably would start, and I think he'd be a regular. And I think that in a lot of ways, he would be very popular under Ruben Amorim. Like, Nicholas Jackson's a good player. I don't buy this notion that he's not a good player. He's a good player. He's not a great player. He's a good player. He is more than capable of being Chelsea's third choice striker and making an impact as a third choice. That means that at this current moment in time, I would argue that you would rotate Delap and João Pedro, but João Pedro seems to be slightly in front of Delap. And then if you have an injury or if you need to rotate both of them or rest for whatever reason, then Jackson can fill in, or he can fill in as a substitute at times as well. But one thing that you'll get from Jack, I mean, you'll get a number of things from Jackson. You'll get a player that is a hard worker. You know, he's very committed in terms of the way he plays. He likes to press. He'll track back. He's got a lot of energy. He likes to link up with players. On his day, he can be quite good at holding up the ball, although I will say this season it's been really, really poor in that respect. I thought end of the season before on the Poch's hold-up play looked great, but I think that's fallen off of a cliff. And I think that the one thing we all know that lets him down is his end product. His end product is always been the issue, but that doesn't stop him from getting into great positions. It doesn't stop him from having chances. He just doesn't capitalize on those chances. And that's ultimately why he scored about 11 goals, I think it was this season, not 20, because he could have done it, but missed so many chances. And I think also one thing that I will say about Jackson, he's he's not the striker you want to play against a low block. He's a good striker when you want to counter, when you want to get in behind. That's when Jackson's been at his best. West Ham, lots of space. All of those games where he's been able to run in behind and cause problems and run up players. He likes to carry the ball from midfield as well. And so I am a fan of Jackson. I don't. There's so many people that hate the guy, and I don't have that same hatred. I really don't. Madueke, totally fine with him leaving. Good riddance. Not a big fan. And to be honest with you, it's like, what a profit, what a deal. If we sold Jackson for less money than Madueke, I think that's bad business, because I think Jackson's a better player. I think he's a more proven player in a lot of ways. I'm not sitting here saying he's the best player in the world, but if I'm comparing him to Madueke has never made me look at him and go, yes, you need to start for Chelsea. You need to start for Chelsea. He scored a hat-trick against Wolves, and then he's had so many inconsistent patches. Whereas Jackson at least has been able to be consistent over a number of months, and then he's gone quiet. But we've seen that he can have a period. And for that reason, I do think that Jackson is a worthy player. I wouldn't accept less than 55 million for him. I think 55 million is the right amount without taking the piss that you can justify based on the market value of other players. But I've heard that Chelsea are looking to price Jackson around the same as Ekitike at Frankfurt. And I think Newcastle just come in with a bid of 70 million. So do I think Jackson's a better player than Ekitike? Do I think he's a more proven player than Ekitike? And I think if you look at it, stats, you'd probably say no. The answer is no. Ekitike is a better player than Jackson based on what I've seen, based on the numbers. I don't watch enough of Frankfurt. I don't watch enough of Ekitike consistently to be able to seriously give you a detailed breakdown. But if you're looking at GA, Ekitike wins that battle. And you could argue that's because he plays in Germany. There's more space. You don't play against low blocks. So maybe you just need to give credit to Jackson for being a player that can operate in that environment at Chelsea. But then I would argue that he hasn't really operated that well when he's been put in those situations. So ideally, I want 60 as a base price. But if we're negotiating here, 55 is the lowest that I would accept. So I'm not sitting here saying I price him at 55, but I'm saying that I would accept as the lowest amount, 55 million for me. Because what you have to remember, let's look in the eyes of the ownership and the eyes of the recruitment. We are not just looking for players to come in. We are looking for players to come in and perform and then become, get to a level where they are profitable if you needed to sell them or if you wanted to sell them. So Jackson's a player that we don't need to sell, but if we were to sell him, we're not going to sell him for a 5 million profit or a 10 million profit. It just doesn't seem worth it, to be honest with you. You might as well keep him, because who else are you going to bring in as a third choice striker that's better than Jackson? I think Jackson's a better player than Mark Guiu, so I'd rather have Jackson there. I think Mark Guiu will probably end up going on loan. I think a domestic loan in England would work well. I also wouldn't have a problem with him going on loan to Strasbourg. 60 million is my price tag. I mean, I see 70 million as well. I don't think anyone pays that. But if we get 60 million, that's a great deal. If we get 55 million, it's a fair deal. Yeah, I just want more for Jackson than we got for Madueke. That's ultimately where I stand on this one. Did I see Todd on TalkSport? Yes, I did. I absolutely did. Penders will probably go down the Petrovic route and be flogged if he has a good season. Not even going to get a medal to show the Asnaf players what one looks like. He'd fit in at Jackson and flop big time. Move him on, cash in. Jackson is not a striker suited to the Premier League. What is the purpose of a striker who can't strike a ball? He doesn't solve United's problems at all. It does seem like a bit of a strange one. Don't think Jenksy agrees with what I've said about Jackson either. I like Jackson, but he'll leave. All signs show it. Mark can be the third striker. He played well in the Conference League. Sell Jackson and use that money for Rodrigo. Big up to you, Hugh. I am well. I want to keep Jackson this season. Better re-evaluate him next summer. We need as many players as possible for a long and tough season. We never know what happens with injuries, etc. The thing is as well, guys, we're not under any pressure in terms of his contract. So we can sit here and comfortably say that Nicholas Jackson would be sold for the same amount next season or next summer as he would be this summer. And I don't think there'd be too much debate about that. The only argument that you'd have is that maybe he's not playing as much, but the player's still there. The quality's still there. The age he's still young. So there's a lot of good things that you have about Nicholas Jackson when you look to sell him. A lot of ticks still. In Clear Lake's eyes, he's definitely a disposable asset and an easy profit. 50 to 60 million and he's gone. Personally, I'd like to keep for depth, but only if he's clear on that and doesn't disrupt the team. That's a very good point. 55 sounds about right. Jackson will never do for a top side. He lacks the intelligence, composure, and lethality you expect from a proper striker. I agree with that. That's a fair point. Okay, let's move on from Nicholas Jackson. I think that we've all had our say on Nicholas Jackson. But before we do, actually, put in your price tag. I want to see in the chat. I want to know the bare minimum of what you would be willing to accept as a Chelsea fan for Nicholas Jackson. So let me know what you believe the bare minimum is, and then we can go from there. Moving on, Chelsea have held fresh talks for Ajax defender Joel Hatto as they explore defensive reinforcements, and this is according to Ben Jacobs on TalkSport. So this is a player we've spoken about a number of times as a player that I think would be a great option, a very, very good signing. And as far as I'm aware, the price was pretty good last time I remember. I can't remember what we were looking at, but it wasn't anything stupid. I think it was less than 40 or around the sort of 35 to 40 million price tag. Big thumbs up from me. And if I'm not wrong as well, he's the captain of Ajax at a very young age. So this is a player that not only you have to look at the qualities he brings in terms of his ability on a football pitch, which obviously you want to be good enough, but he has leadership qualities. He has leadership qualities at a young age. There is never anything bad about having multiple leaders in your dressing room. That is a priority for any top team, to have leaders in that dressing room that can carry you forward. Because I think Mourinho said it once. He said, was it Chelsea or Porto? It was one of those teams. And who was it? I think it was Chelsea. And John Terry said, don't come in the dressing room. We need a minute to ourselves. Anyway, they were screaming, shouting, throwing tables. And the point is that when you got Drogba, Michael Ballack, Frank Lampard, Petr Cech, John Terry in the dressing room, is that a good thing? Absolutely. Have we seen that it's successful? Yes, we have. So if we're trying to, bring in those leaders as well in a different way, obviously bringing in younger players as opposed to established internationals, then I don't have a problem with it. I think it's absolutely fine. I think that it's a strategy that can work well. And we are seeing leaders develop in this side. We've got Enzo, we've got James, we've got Levi Colwell, I think Cucurella is a leader in his own right in terms of his attitude. I think he's got a great attitude. And then obviously you just want to build. So yeah, I'm behind this signing. I think that it's a signing that, to be quite frank, can benefit Chelsea in so many ways. And it's another player that Clearlake will be looking at. And if it is about 35 million, and I don't know the exact price tag, but around that mark, that's a deal where if you sign a player and he performs really well and he's still young, you will make a profit. So that Clearlake are all over it. They're not messing about. So that's a thumbs up from me. Thumbs up from me for Joral Hatto. Let me know what you think as well. Do you like Hatto or not? Okay, let's see some of these price tags as well. We've got 50, 60, 55, 60, 55, 55 plus add-ons. 50. We've got 80 in there. Jesus, 60, 80, 50 bare minimum, 70 asking price but accept, 60 plus add-ons, 60, 60. Okay. So we're all sort of around the same page. And I'm fine with that. That's cool. Yeah, even if Ajax bottled the league, though, you've got to remember, like, he's a centre-back / left-back. He's not going to win Ajax the league. There's other players in there that need to step up in order for Ajax to perform. And I think Ajax have been mismanaged anyway. So if you've got a player like that, again, who's standing out in a team that isn't performing to the best level, does that not say more about how good he is, that he can perform in a dysfunctional team? So if he comes into Chelsea and performs, he's going to have better players around him. And I think that will only make his life easier as a defender. Okay, so I found the OVO collaboration. Didn't have a clue that this was going to happen. Does this mean we're going to have the Drake curse now? Like, isn't that what? That's a thing. Any sports team that Drake is associated with, they're cursed. No, we know that Joral Hatter's not going to start ahead of these guys, but we need depth. Because what happens if they get injured? Yeah, I would take Hatto over Badiashile. I don't even think Badiashile's a bad player to have in the squad. I think as a rotation option, Badiashile's honestly a good option to have. Yeah. So the curse is only if Drake bets on us. All right. I'll take your word for it. Oh, what's happened there? No to the Drake sponsor. Yeah. Okay, let's have a look at some of this stuff. So what have we got? Oh, I saw that. Chelsea's very own. I didn't realize that was a Drake thing. What I really want to know is how much are these guys selling this stuff for? This must be an absolute ripoff. Drake's OVO brand is teaming up with the reigning FIFA Club World Cup champions Chelsea for a clothing collaboration set to drop tomorrow. Look at the response from River Chelsea. What the fuck is this? Oh, that's brilliant. Okay. October's very own. Not really sure I understand the message with that. Okay. It's a pretty nice hat. Like, it's stylish, it's trendy, but I'm a bit... Yeah, it's not for me, to be honest with you. It's not for me. Respect to anyone who wants to buy it. Fair play. Don't have an issue with it. But I can't say that I would be wearing that. And I certainly wouldn't be willing to pay whatever they're going to charge, because I can imagine they're charging an extortionate amount for a shirt like that. So fair enough. Okay. Let's have a look. Where is the bloody bonuses? That's what we want to see, guys. We want to see the fucking bonuses. Right, I know exactly where it is, so I'm going to find it, and I can't find it on my computer, so I'm going to go on my phone and find it. London. Okay, this one. Here we go. So it's of course, it's the fucking Telegraph. Trying to charge me all this money. If you can see that picture, I don't think you can see that properly, but it's basically, according to the Telegraph, Chelsea players are in line to earn bonuses in the region of £350,000 a man for lifting the Club World Cup. It is unclear as to whether that will include Noni Madueke or not. So that means that everyone that's in the squad is going to get a serious paycheck. I mean, 350K is pretty good, especially when you're a player like, let's just say Malagusto, for example, who's on about, he's not on much at all. I think Malagusto is probably in about 50 grand a week. So if we're dishing out bonuses like that, especially for a lot of these younger players, they'll be chuffed, absolutely chuffed. And yeah, I think they deserve it. They deserve it. The whole incentivized contract works really well when you're successful. And the fact that we have managed to not only get to the stage where we've set ourselves up for next season, but cap it off and have the cherry on top, which is that Club World Cup. You've got to reward players for that and allow them to enjoy their holiday as well. 350 bags, that's going to help. Okay. So, yeah, that's what the Times have said, that we're going to get £350,000 per player for what they have achieved in the Club World Cup. And they deserve all the credit in the world for that. Now, digging into some of the financials as well, when you actually look at the Club World Cup as well, I don't know how you guys feel about the Club World Cup, whether you like it or not. Obviously, we're happy we won it. I mean, I've always been a fan of this competition anyway, because I do think it's good for football, and I do think it's good, and I think that the financial side is good, but I like the idea of, what they're able to do. But out of the I think it was 1 billion or 2 billion I think it was 1 billion that they paid to the clubs. 100 million of that, this is dollars, yeah, not pounds. $100 million went to Chelsea. So 10% of all the money that they paid to every single club. And over 650 million of the 1 billion was paid to only 12 teams. So you would argue that maybe it's monopolized, some of the top teams a little bit more, but I would argue that that money that's being paid to other teams, even if it's not as great as what the Europeans have, look at Auckland, the Australian team, for example, that is more money than they make in a year. That's going to help them supremely. And I hope that the players at Auckland got bonuses. If I'm not wrong, I'm sure one of the players from Auckland is like a teacher or something, or whatever it is. He's got a day job. He asked to have the time off to play at the Club World Cup. They said no. He still left. He got sacked. And I was New Zealand. Sorry, not my fault. My bad. New Zealand. And I hope that he's been rewarded with a nice juicy bonus of like 50K. All of the players should have. Look, if your club got a couple of million, 5, 10 million, and you can't afford to give your players as a whole, let's just say 20% of that, then you're not really incentivizing people. You got to reward people as well for coming out there. It's not an easy tournament, guys. It's not an easy tournament. I think that it's been a very, very disrespected tournament. Yeah, I think it's brilliant. I think it's absolutely sensational. Honestly, what what we have achieved is just fantastic. Can't believe as well that Diaz wants to leave Liverpool as well. He said he wants to leave. Bayern Munich have had a bid of £58 million rejected. Arsenal obviously got Yorker as well. There's a lot happening at the moment. Ekitike is going to go to Newcastle. Crazy. Here we go. Do you really care who our front of shirt sponsor is? Do you really care? As long as they pay well and it looks good, that's basically the most important thing, isn't it? Good to see you, Philip. Hope you're doing well. We do need backup to Cucurella. I will say that if there's one thing that is blatantly obvious, like we need to support Cucurella, and it's not about providing competition. Yeah, we know that there's no competition. It's about giving Cucurella the ability to rest when he needs to rest. Okay, that's like the absolute bare minimum. And if we can't give Cucurella that, then I don't think that I just don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair at all. And that's my stance on it. Okay. This is what I wanted to look at. I found it. Now, I'm not subscribed to the Telegraph, but I am subscribed to The Athletic. Where did the 1 billion prize pot go? Like it or not, the end result is clear. A headline grabbing across 32 competing teams over and headline grabbing across 32 competing teams over the last month. FIFA have doled out a $1 billion, £744 million prize pot. Sunday evening's final between Chelsea and PSG saw each other earn $30 million just for getting there. Before Chelsea's 3-0 victory banked them a further $10 million. There were reasons beyond football for both the team and club owners. Chairman Todd Bowley looked plenty happy alongside Trump after full time to rejoice. Through winning the 2025 iteration of a tournament previously ignored by much of the footballing world, Chelsea earned themselves an estimated $114 million. So over 10% of all of the money. That is crazy. £84 million. Hey, if you want to sign a big player, if you want to sign Rodrigo, that's Rodrigo right there. But I don't think we'll do it. Reece James and Cole enjoy chunky bonus payments from this latest success. It's coming back to this article as well. And I think this is where we then get to the bonuses, which I was speaking about earlier. Is it here? Where's the bonuses? Where the fuck is the bonuses? I can't read that whole article, guys. I can't do it. I thought it would be easy to see. PSG were the only other club to top 100 million, but their presence atop of the prize table was in keeping with football's existing power structure. Semi-finalist Real Madrid, whose paupers earned $82 million, the third highest in the competition. For all the talk of the Club World Cup having redistributive potential, 623.1 million of the 1 billion on offer has wound up in the hands of 12 European clubs. 3 European clubs dominate the Club World Cup earnings. So obviously you can see Chelsea number 1. What a fucking number that is. Brilliant. Does that not give you a bit of pride? I love being number 1, guys. Love it. I've missed being number 1, to be honest. PSG, Real Madrid. And then you got Fluminense. They've done very well. Bayern Munich. What's that? Oh, okay. So you got the participation fee. Okay. Oh, wow. Participation fee. And then you've got the performance. Jeez. Oh, that's good. That's quite a good little graph there. So at the bottom was Auckland, 4.6 million. Their players should have got some nice bonuses. LAFC into Miami got 21 mil. So actually, when you look at the incentivized payments, Chelsea just smashed it. $85 million just in incentives. But Man City ended up getting paid 9 million more than we did just for turning up. I presume because they have done better in the Premier League. That's probably why. Fair enough. That's actually quite interesting. Wow. That's mad. On a per-team basis, European clubs were well in front. Prize money earned per competing team at the Club World Cup. So most of them were from UEFA. That's fair. It's mad, though, isn't it? The finances. Mad. But you can't say we didn't deserve it. You can't say we didn't earn it. We absolutely did. They would have got a higher participation fee. That's why they earned more than Palmeiras. It would have been because of their participation fee. So even though you had the incentivized the performance earnings, they got 38 million just for turning up. So with the Conference League, we would have got about 25 million pounds, which is around the same as the worst performing team in the Champions League, which was Slavia Prague or something. I think Slavia Prague. So just for being in the Champions League and losing basically every game, they got 25 million. Whereas we got 25 million for winning the Conference League. And I don't know what the difference is between that and the Europa League winner pay prize money. What's the Europa League get? What is the Europa League? So it's about 25 million for the Conference League. And then winning the Europa League, you get 5 million. So if you tally everything up, oh, for fuck's sake. Do I really have to do the maths on this? Oh, God. All right, let's have a look. So you get 3.6 plus. Oh, fuck's sake. I've already got to do maths on the stream. 3.5 plus 5.9 plus 5. So Tottenham would have rated around the same amount as we did, based on Give Me Sport and what they've said about winning the Europa League. I don't know if there's much accuracy to that. I can obviously look at some other websites, but I don't want to spend all day looking at it. But that's what they're saying you can make from the Europa League. 3.6 million for the league stage qualification. Then you got the knockouts, round of 16s, etc., and winning the tournament as well. So let me know if there's any truth to that. If anyone wants to just dive in and do some research on the stream and then just report back. I'm so confused. It doesn't look like a lot though, and this looks much more. Total final package 180 minutes. Wow. Okay. So yeah, I mean, what I just read is total bollocks. Then, absolutely not true. Give me sport of. Why have they written that then? Why have they done it so low? Oh, that's pathetic. I mean, that's not even like remotely close. They said about 20 million. But maybe that's on like a per match. I don't fucking know. That's it. I don't know. Right. I'm looking on TalkSport as well. TalkSport are saying around the same. The winner gets about 11 million, right, for winning the final. The runner-up gets 5. Semis is 3.5. Quarters is 2. Round of 16s is 1 million. So you got 1 million, 3 million, 6 million, about 13 million or 14 million. So it's about 25, 26 million for winning the Europa League. Not much more than that. And that's according to TalkSport. So 22 according to Give Me Sport, about 25, 26 according to TalkSport. So that's fine. Well, that's a Jesus Christ. You've gone from 100 million to 65 million. That's no. Well, match day income. Let's just, all we want to know is prize money. We're not talking about match day income. Don't overcomplicate it. Just we just want to know the main parts. The after party looked great as well. I will say this. The after party looked unbelievable when the players were celebrating. I can't believe George Benson and Alex Goldberg got to see all the players and hang out in the after party. I'm like, if I was out there, does that mean I would have been able to get into it? Like, I don't know. I don't really know how that works, but maybe. Yeah. This is according to Matt Law. He's come out not long at all ago, basically while we were still streaming. When it comes to Bowley and Igbali, winning the Club World Cup and qualifying for the Champions League is unlikely to have changed the underlying differences. And there remains a sense something has to give. And this again goes to about what Todd Bowley was talking about with the rift between the owners. Look, if we had to choose between Bowley and Igbali, then I think most people would pick Bowley. And I think that's a fair statement. I think that's fair, isn't it? Igbali was at the final, but they didn't really show him on the telly. Who were they showing? They were showing the PSG owner, but Igbali was sitting right next to him. Well, you never know. Maybe I could have got in. I don't know. But yeah, this whole brown envelope thing, fucking hell. It's just draining. I can't watch that stuff anymore. I can't. I used to enjoy watching it. I actually used to enjoy it. But it's draining. It's really draining. And it makes me feel like I'm doing something wrong, even if I'm not. So yeah, I'm not really watching all that anymore. But Eghbali was there as far as I'm aware. He just wasn't on the pitch like with the players. He likes to stay out of the limelight, and that's fine. So Bowley, go and soak it up. But I mean, I would take Todd over fucking Eghbali every day of the week. The thing is, though, the thing is, Eghbali does have more power than Bowley at Chelsea. Obviously, he clearly owned a larger share of the club. But on top of that, the type of shares they own are different. I remember looking into this. The shares that Clearlake own mean that if Chelsea were to sell the club, they get paid first, if that makes sense. Then Bowley gets paid. It also means that if Chelsea were to go into a position where, you know, financially we couldn't cope, or, you know, we couldn't pay back our debts, because obviously we've taken out debt. We took out debt under Midco, if I'm not wrong, Midco Limited. Then Bowley would be the first to go down, not Clearlake. So yeah, he obviously, the only reason he got involved, he got in bed with Clearlake because, you know, there was a rush to get the bid for the club. He wanted to buy the club, and ultimately they won the bid, didn't they? But they needed to get aligned, and so Clearlake have very favorable terms in this acquisition. So I do think that Todd wants Saudi investment. He was obviously in Saudi a year ago trying to raise the money, but he couldn't get it. So in an ideal world from Bowley, I guess he's probably looking to buy out Clearlake, but he just doesn't have the cash. Chelsea's 3-0 win highlights over PSG has 17 million views on DAZN YouTube in one day. That's incredible, huh? So good. Anyway, listen, people. If you haven't smashed that like button, please do. It helps a lot. Shows that you're enjoying the video, and it's quite encouraging as well to see that people are enjoying the content. So smash that like button, and listen, I'm going to be back tomorrow. I'm going to be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock for a lunchtime stream. So I probably won't stream in the evening. I will most likely do it at lunch. So if you join me at 1 o'clock, I'll be there, and we will catch up soon. If I don't do it at 1, though, it will be an evening stream. So there you go. But big up to everyone. Really appreciate everyone being on here, and all the best to you, and enjoy your evenings.